Genie grind and watch him get rich, huh? Remember when I said I hit a lick, huh? I don't really wanna fuck the bitch, what? Willie went and made another hit, okay, like Prada on my motherfucking kid, huh? Louis on my motherfucking hip, huh? Curry how I dunk, no switch, hey, fucker gonna fuck that bitch, hey, if you ain't gon' fuck with me, you a dumb fuck, put up a hit but feel like one punch, look at my bank and I'm getting dumb rich, and I'm gonna count it up till 100,
Hello world, I'm What If Study, and today we are continuing What If Deku Gave Up, Part 3. Deku, on his way, driving through the town, stops right before the Hero College, and goes into a singular bar. This bar, shady, and yet has very fine wood. Every single part of it was crafted perfectly. It was memorized by him, too. He had loved this place. He walks in, opening up the door with its chimes ringing throughout the bar. Not many people tonight. The heiress of the diner says, cleaning one of the cups. You can take a seat wherever you like. I'll be out there just a second. He sits down by the bar. Yes. Did you know that the Flame City had an underground facility in it, hosted by all these villains? No, that's quite the story, as she continues cleaning off the jars. Yes, it is quite. Would you happen to know the password? And as she stops, and looks up to the glass, as she looks back and sees Deku's face, his glance coming up to the glass too, as they both meet their eyes. Toga, come here and see your daddy again. As she says, "You survived!" As she vaults over the freaking bar and tramples onto Deku, rolling him around. And as they roll, both of them roll and hit one of the tables, as all the glasses fall over. But they don't care, as they're instantly locked eye to eye. His eyes glowing with excitement, and she says, "How is the van that I brought parked there?" "She runs like a beauty." I thought so. Well then, congratulations, Deku. Maybe they'll all see you as the hero that you wanted to be. I know, and we can be the most popular there. We can be worshipped. Come, we should go now. It's far too late, Deku. Come on. I have to show you what I've been working on. All right, Toga. Calm down. I'll follow you. But once it becomes morning, we'll show them our ending things. Right. Yes, we will. First, vials, please. He says, "Oh, right." He walks out of the chiming bar. He walks to the back of the van, opening it up. The creaks louder than before. It seemed like the back of it had gotten rotten. 3 of the vials had become so rotten that they were starting to smell moldy. Even they weren't secured or fastened like the others. These ones were labeled red and purple all over. He picks up the 3 and brings it in, covering his face, saying, "Oh, that's horrid." "Here. The ugly ones," you said. He puts up his hands using quotation marks. She says, "Oh, it's not that." Maybe you got a point. As she picks both of them up, strapping a mask to her face. As she walks into the back room, which submerges down into a sort of secret lab of their own. It reveals a massive container. One of the size that was inside the basement, the scientist's design. The one that was in the Fiery City underground bunker. this housed its own Nomu. However, this Nomu was weaker than the others, of course, because they don't have the science expression. However, some of the vials, the moldy ones, they started to put it into this small phial that would inject into the middle of the machine. The machine that part of the scientists' actual studies were also put into the van, which he also brought out. She put it all into the machine, thinking that maybe it'll work. However, they were not optimistic. But if there is one word that defines both of them, it's optimistic. Something that they had to learn to get after their hard lives that they shared together. Quite a romantic story, right? Anyways, the Nomu starts to fidget, almost move. This freaking out Toga, this would never happen, but excites Deku. After all, he wants an explosive entry into Class 1A. As he walks back, going back up to the van, she says, "Meet you at the date, all right?" "Thank you, Toga, for everything. And remember, keep a smile on that face." He zooms off into Class 1A. As basically we shift over a little bit of time over to Deku basically sneaking all the vials into Class 1A, putting on a little robe and pretending to be one of the teachers. He hadn't done his science on any of the teachers. He hadn't recorded any of them. However, this is what he uses Toga for. Toga basically comes with him afterwards, and basically gets a little bit of the blood of Orca, I think it was. It wasn't exactly the greatest one for, having a bunch of lab equipment with. However, Orca's good enough. She had gotten this from sort of some files that she had snuck in while Deku was off doing stuff with the Fire City. That's what she was doing. Collecting customers inside of her bar and then using their saliva on their drinks and the cups to basically shift it into blood and then use that for her quirk. She could only be Orca, however, for only 5 minutes because it was saliva. It's not good DNA, right? It wouldn't be as good as blood. She would really need blood to go for much longer. Anyways, she shifts into Orca as Deku hides behind the thing, kind of directing her through the city. Kind of getting in a call with her as she holds a little, microphone to her ear, pretending to be on a call so that nobody talks to her. As she makes her way down the hallway, through all the rooms and sees all the Class 1A, Class B1, A2. Wait, what were the classes? Holy shit. B1? Yeah. B1 was one, right? But, oh no, it's A2. Yeah, A2, A1. And when she gets to A1, she stops and kind of looks inside the room. And all of them having fun. They're all laughing, joking around. Scott-chan's not as mad as he was before without Deku. However, something seems to be clouding his sort of grumpy mood as he stares off into the courtyard. She takes a long look at all the rest of them until Deku snaps her back to reality, saying, "What are you doing? Continue with the vials," as she continues up the stairs, getting into the elevator. However, one man steps into the elevator with her, Aizawa. As Aizawa stands there, Toga awkwardly holding the phone up to her head as King Orca. He says, "I didn't think that you were going to come into the building this day, Orca." How does he talk? I don't know. Just try something. Try deep. "Oh, yes. I have a bit of a cold today, you see." That's a horrible... Okay, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Let's just hope he doesn't... And he looks at them awkwardly as he's like, "Shit! Just one more floor," as then they get up to floor 9. The doors open, and Aizawa kind of bumps into the vial thing as it goes ching ching, and he's like, "Wait, what?" As he's like, "Go now!" As then he's like, "Sorry, I'm on a tight schedule. All right, see ya." And he continues through the hallway, going all the way down to the top of the tower of A1. Parts that no student would ever see. Only teachers are allowed. As such, passcodes are actually needed, as Deku kind of had told her exactly where to go. He had spied on this place for years, thinking about going to this high school. However, him not having a quirk stopped him from being able to. However, before Deku can say anything more, Toga comes up right next to the door where she hears Nezu talking to All Might. She grins. Finally the world can feel my love. Deku? Deku did not respond. All she heard was muffling and things as she drops the phone. She looks out to the window. As this blind flare coming from the distance. Deku was sitting there just seconds before, on the phone talking to Toga, telling her that this is the final objective. Now we offer it to them. They'll see us as heroes. Until Hawks lands right behind him. The great red-winged phoenix. They cloak around him, nesting feathers, falling onto the ground slowly and steadily. His eyes stop lighting up. Deku can't even look behind him as his smile starts to fade just a second. So, I guess you found us out. Huh? He doesn't even look back until Hawks is like, You're the one that took it. As he grabs up Deku's collar and takes him out into the open plains, straight into the city. As Hawks is planning to just drag him along a city thing and like destroy him with it. As Deku's taken up and his legs go weightless as he was dragged on along the ground and then is thrown up, and then Hawks just bats him around like a goddamn ragdoll until Hawks grabs him back up again. Deku spitting out some blood onto Hawks' eye. Hawks loses his sort of control. Hawks growling in anger as he just tries to shove Deku in any sort of place that he can. And then Hawks turns towards the Hero Association's building as Toga's about to open up the door and show them that they took all of the quirks that were taken from the kids. And then she looks to her left to see this ball of fire coming straight at the building. She can't even say anything until Deku landed straight in front of her. This destroys the building. This almost nuked the building, completely reducing it all the way down to its bare core and rubble. Hawks was nowhere to be found except feathers strewn about the scene. All Might arose from the ground, of course, trying to save as many people as he could, but no Deku, no Toga. Nezu was part of the people that was standing in the same room. Nezu had sustained a scar on his left eye because of this. As he coughs up some of it, he says, What happened? Can someone give me a rendezvous? I don't know. Something. Oh, my head. Don't think about it, Nezu. First, we need to save as many as we can. All Might comes up next to him, encompassing him with his shadow. Right. Get to it. Then, who was that girl? As he starts to think harder. Search for a blonde-haired girl, please. She might have been in the crash directly. She might not have survived. As this fallout is covered in smoke. I mean, there's ash falling from the sky. It's completely dusty. Nobody can see farther than 10 feet in front of them. This hellscape of dust and sand was just torture for some people. The whole building came down like a stack of cards. Deku reaches out of the rubble, bringing himself up from a barbell that had been struck straight through his left leg. He as he brings himself up and pulls himself up onto one of the rocks that was sort of overlooking half of the place. He brings the barbell up into the light to try to see how to take it out. However, it had twisted on the bottom end. On the top end, he would have to pull it out beneath him. Oh shit! Two vertical, extruding bars of metal were coming out from the rock or rubble that he was sitting on. He hooks the bottom of the pipe under them, and then pulls up with his leg, gritting his teeth onto his shirt that was taken from All for One. And then nothing. He sews up his left leg with some cloth, although he knew nothing about healing. Toga would. Oh no, Toga. He gets up from the rock, looking over the dust, but he saw just clouds, like he was looking over the world's edge. Some rubble movement there and there. People, though, not her. She's not like people. She wouldn't just come out of the rubble for people. Deku searches among the rubble, trying to find her, calling out her name as much as he can until a hand extruding from the rubble. Deku runs over hopelessly, losing all of his bodily control as he just moves by his legs, striding across the barren wasteland. He finally gets to the rock pile with the arm above it. It seems like it had disconnected from the rest of the body. However, she could still be alive. As he scavenges through the rocks, throwing them ever which way, not caring where they hit or even if they kill other people. He needs to get to the bottom as he continuously throws everything everywhere until he gets to one gigantic rock. She must be right under this one. She has to be alive. He starts hallucinating sort of voices coming from the other as he picks it up. But he's not strong enough. I have to, though. I must. As he... all of his strength gone. It's like his whole body was breaking at the slightest nudge of this rock as he picks it up above his head for just half a second. He lets out a gasp. Toga! And then he drops it. It falls hard onto the back of his spine, cracking it and paralyzing the bottom of his legs. As he falls down onto the ground, his head woozy and his whole brain fuzzy from everything. He just cries, for it's the only thing he can do. He still smiles through the cries. After all, there's still a possibility she's alive under that rock. If it didn't crush her before, maybe I crushed her now. But I still have to... He tries to get up, pushing his body up, as nothing below his ass even works. He moves his legs out of the way. He must continue working. But he doesn't know if she's still alive. She has to be. And then dark illumination surrounds him. He looks back, as it turns out to be All Might, smiling as he did before. Deku's smile meant meaning to himself now. Right? Or was it just a fake facade used to spend on those who were civilians, to tell everybody that it's fine? All Might looks over to the rock in front of Deku as he kind of signals for Deku to move out of the way. However, Deku's like, I can't move my legs. I'm sorry, All Might. His voice was paralyzed, however, he had to say it. All Might nods. Right. As he picks up the rock, as light as a feather. However, All Might's smile collapses, as does Deku's. All that was under it was a body, bashed and mangled along the rocks. Her legs this way, her arm that other way. All that was left was her perfect face, on one of the rocks perfectly positioned up to be not her harmed by the rock. Her body sculpted out into the rocks, as if she was meant to be here as her final resting place. She was wearing a smile, one he would like to have right now. He scooches his way. He slides his body down the rocks. As he crumbles down, he stops smiling for the first time in almost 2 years. How? No way. No way. How? Why? I just wanted a future for the both of us. God damn it. I'm so weak. I couldn't even save you. I couldn't. Please forgive me. Forgive me, please. All Might, watching over the scene, couldn't keep himself smiling. Deku holds on to the head and brings it to his chest, putting his chin on the top of her smiling face. He looks up to All Might. He's an ugly crier, too. Do you think there's any hope of villains like us to become heroes? Quirkless people, doomed to be nothing. All Might stares at this kid, having everything taken away from him. Nothing like this should ever happen to anyone. No mental torture like this should ever be repeated. No crack so wide would ever open up in anybody in the history of humanity. Everything, his legs, his family, his love, now his second love, his true love. What does he do? Is there hope? That is the question that Deku has given the meaning, the hero of hope. Thank you so much for watching. It's emotional. Thank you. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.